students, you are watching this video because you need help on your homework, I'm assuming. Make sure you're watching the correct video. This is for lesson 8.6, and notice it's page 448, 8 through 13, and 18 through 22. So if that's not the lesson you're looking for, you need to stop this video and find the correct one, okay? All right, let's take a look at numbers starting off with. Hold on one second as I get a little organized here. 8 through 13, we're finding the area, okay? So 8 through 13, we're finding the area of trapezoids. And so we do have a trapezoid, so the formula is 1/2 height b plus b. If you want to put the subscript 1 and 2, that's totally acceptable. I'm going to go ahead and copy this so I can just take that with me from page to page. So there we go. And there we go. All right, now let's continue on. Okay, let's find the area of this trapezoid. So for the 1/2, I leave that at 1/2. I don't put anything for the a because that's what I'm solving for. For h, I put a 7, and then I add my bases in my head together. That's pretty easy. 11 plus 15 is 26. So add your two bases together. And then if you take 7 times 26, you would get 100, let's see, 42 carrier 4, I'm getting 182. I hope that's correct. Yep, that's correct. And then 7 times 26, 182. And then if you multiply 1/2 times 182, you will get 91 square units. 91 square units. Okay, so there's your answer. Moving on to number 9. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over and over and over, students. There's the formula. So we're going to find the area of this trapezoid. Okay, where the 1/2 is, I leave it 1/2. Where the h is, I substitute 8. And where my two bases are, I add the two bases together, 6 and 10. So I would get 16. Okay, and then if I take 8 times 16, I would get 128. I always save my fraction for last. That's just how I do it. 128. And then 1/2 times 128 would be 64 square units. Square units. All right. Okay. Moving on to number 9. I go fast. You can always rewind if you need to. Okay, there is the formula for area of a trapezoid. So where the h is, I'm going to substitute a 16. Where my two bases are, I'm going to go ahead and add those together, a 7 and a 24, and I'm going to get a 31. I always save my fraction for last on these problems, so I'm going to multiply 16 times 31, and I should get 496. 496. Okay, use a calculator if you need to. And then we take 1/2 times 496, and you will get 248 square units. All right, that's number 10. Let's move on to number 11. Again, don't be confused when they turn the trapezoid on you. That's no big deal. We know the parallel sides are always your bases. So your bases are 13 and 19, and the height is always the perpendicular line that connects those two bases. So 14 is your height. So here we go. Where the h is, I'm going to go ahead and substitute 14. That's your height. My two bases are 13 and 19, and that should give you 32 when you add those together. I'm going to save my fraction for last. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply 14 times 32. And if you do that correctly, you will come up with 448. 14 times 32, 448. And then 1/2 times 448 would give you 224. 224 square units. I'm not going to write square units this time, but it is square units. All right, number 12, we have the exact same type of problem again. It's getting pretty redundant, but we're going to keep doing this over and over and over to give you guys practice. 1/2 times the height, well, the height would be 4.6. And then if you add your two bases together, you would have 10.6. 10.6. Okay? 6.2 plus 4.4. And then I always save my fraction for last, so I'm going to write 1/2 right here. And I'm going to multiply 4.6 times 10.6. And if you do that correctly, you should get, let's see, 48.76. 48.76. Use a calculator if you need to. And then I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 48.76, and you will get 24.38 square units. All right, and moving on to number 13. Let's find the area of this trapezoid, okay? Well, here we go. Area, well, I'm not sure why I'm doing all that. I've got it saved right here. There we go. All right, so there's my formula. And now where the height is, my h, I'm going to substitute 15. Now don't become confused with all of these numbers. Relax. Is not this side here parallel to this side here? Well, sure it is. Of course it is. So those are your bases. What's this whole base down here? Well, it's 30. 30 goes all the way across and all the way across, right? 8 plus 14 plus 8, so your whole base is 30. Now, how much is this base up here? Well, would it not be the same as, I'm going to highlight it in red, would it not be the same as this length right here? From here to here is 14, so from here to here up here would also be 14. So it looks like to me my whole big base down here is 30 and my whole base up here is 14. So if I add my two bases together, I get 44. Okay, now let's continue on. Let's go, I saved my fraction for last, so I'm going to multiply 15 times 44, and if you do that correctly you will get excuse me, 660. Use a calculator if you need to, and then multiply 1/2 times 660, and you will get 330 square units. Okay, so again we are finding the area of a trapezoid. The area of a trapezoid. Okay, moving on. Let's now, I think we're going to jump on to 18 through, let me look at my notes here, 18 through 22. So just 5 problems left. And I think we're going to find some missing parts now. So I'm pretty sure they're going to give you the area and you're going to be missing a base or a height. So let's go ahead and see if we can't solve some of these. All right, there is my formula. So notice they give us the area, 135. So for A, I'm going to put 135. And then they give us the height, so for h I'm going to substitute 10, and then they give us one of the bases, so I'm going to put b plus 18. b plus 18. All right, now we cannot simplify the left side of the equation, but we can simplify this side over here. First thing I'm going to simplify is this part right here. So I have 1/2 times 10, that's 5 parentheses b plus 18. And now I can still do some more simplifying to the right side. I have a 5 that I can distribute through the parentheses. So 5 times b is 5b, and 5 times 18 is 90. Okay? Now I cannot simplify this side. I cannot simplify this side any further. So I'm ready to isolate the b or get b all by itself. So if we subtract 90 from both sides, we would have 45 equals 5b. Subtract 90 from both sides. Now divide both sides by 5, and b, excuse me, not sure why I put a 5 there. B would equal 9. B would equal 9. Okay, and that's number 18. Okay, let's take a look at number 19. Again, we have our formula right here, and so with that in mind, for the area, I'm going to substitute 132. For the height, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the height, so I'm not going to put anything. I'm just going to leave it at h. And then base plus base, I'm just going to go ahead and put 24, students, because one base is 7, the other base is 17. Add them together and you get 24. Okay, now I want to simplify both sides of my equation. That's the first thing you always want to do. You cannot simplify 132, but you can simplify 1/2 h times 24. 1/2 h times 24, you multiply the 1/2 times the 24, you get a 12, and then there's your h. Bring down your h, so 12h. And now we're going to divide both sides by 12, and when you divide both sides by 12, you get 11 equals h. Okay, now I keep moving. Okay, I have to. You can always pause the video and back it up. Okay, all right, number 20, we are attempting to find one of the bases right here. We're missing one of the bases. Okay, so where the A is, I'm going to substitute 198. That's my area. For the height, I'm going to substitute a 12. That's my height. For my bases, I'm going to put B plus 15. B plus 15. Okay, I'm missing one of my bases. Well, we cannot simplify the left side, but we can simplify the right side. First of all, I would multiply these together. So 1/2 times 12 would be 6, parentheses, B plus 15. All right, and I can still simplify some more. You can take your 6 and distribute it through. So 6 times B would be 6B, and 6 times 15 would be 90. And now we want to solve for B, so we're going to subtract 90 from both sides, and that would give us 108 equals 6B. And now we divide both sides by 6, and you would get 18 equals B. 18 equals B, and that's number 20. All right, moving on to number 21. Let me get a quick drink of water here. Okay, if you read number 21 correctly, it's right here in front of you. They give us the area, they give us the two bases, and look what we're finding. We're finding the height. All right, so let's drag this formula right down here. And where the A is, I'm going to substitute 50. Where the H is, I'm going to substitute, well, nothing, because that's what I'm solving for is H. My two bases, well, 10 and 15. Add them together, you get 25. 25. Okay? Now, we always want to simplify. We cannot simplify the left side. It's 50. But we can simplify this side. 1/2 times 25 times H would be 12. Use a calculator if you need to. 12.5 H. 1/2 times 25 is 12.5 H. Okay? And now we divide both sides by 12.5, and you will get 4. Okay? No, that is not correct. You will get, yes, that is 4. You will get 4 for your answer. So your height equals 4. Okay, a little yawn there, and let's continue on. Last problem. Okay, they give us the area, they give us the height, and they give us one of the bases. So we're trying to find the other base. Okay? So pretty much like the others that we've done, this shouldn't be too difficult. All right, where the A is, I'm going to substitute 24. That's my area. For the H, I'm going to substitute 3 because that's my height. And then for my bases, I'm going to have B plus 5 because one of my bases is 5 and the other base is B. Now you cannot simplify the left side, but you can simplify the right side. I would multiply these together first. 1/2 times 3 would give you 1.5, and that's okay. No big deal, just write 1.5. So 1/2 times 3 is 1.5. And now bring down your B plus 5. Now we got to simplify some more. Now we got to take this 1.5 and multiply it through. So 1.5 times B is 1.5B, and 1.5 times 5 would be 7.5. Okay? Now we got to subtract 7. We'll continue it right up here. We got to subtract 7.5 from both sides. So minus 7.5. Minus 7.5, and if you do that correctly, you will get 16.5 equals 1.5b. Now hopefully everybody sees where the 16.5 came from. 24 minus 7.5, use a calculator if you need to. Alright, and then of course the 1.5 is left because these over here cancel out. Now let's divide both sides by 1.5. I believe you're going to get 11 for the answer. 16.5 divided by 1.5 gives you 11 for your base. Alright, so there's your answer. I hope this video has been a help to you. Please keep working hard, study, get your homework done, and study for your quizzes and tests.